Hey friends, okay, so today's video I'm going to be talking about miscarriages. If you have had a miscarriage, like how to maybe heal, some things that might help you to heal. And then also if you are a friend or a family of somebody who has had a miscarriage, ways that you could maybe help them to heal. I know when somebody is in pain, like we just like want to automatically help them, right? So I'm going to give you some ideas. And then if you struggle with infertility or if you have multiple miscarriages, it might be part of like an imbalance of your hormones. And so I will talk about that too, like what are some things that you could do, because I've done videos on that, like how to detect like maybe what's going on with your body. I thought of this video because I recently got a book that has been really helpful for me in the healing process, and I have had 3 miscarriages. Long story short, I had 2 miscarriages about 4 years ago before I had Maria. So I have 5 altogether right now that I can hold, and I have 3 in heaven. So what happened was, after Bella, I got pregnant 2 different times, about 7 months apart from each other, and both of them were miscarriages. And so I thought, you know, I'm in my 40s. I was like, well, maybe, you know, maybe this is just not ever going to happen again. Like maybe I am done having kids, which made me kind of sad, to be honest. But I grieved those pregnancies, and then I had little Maria, and I got pregnant with Maria, and the whole time I was so nervous that I was gonna have a miscarriage again. And thankfully she is here, and she is the most beautiful little girl. Like, God is so good. And then we also had a miscarriage after, about 2 years after her. So we've had 3. And so I just kind of want to talk about that, because it is definitely like a healing thing. Like, it is something that for me, like, I've had to kind of pray through and heal from, and it's never like fully closed in a way. Like, I shouldn't say that, it is, but it's like I still think of my little babies quite often. And we did tell the siblings, so all my other children know about it. And you know, we didn't know if they were like old enough or could handle it, and they actually did really well. You know, they were sad, but they still talk about those 3 little babies very often, and you know, in a joyful way, like knowing that their siblings are in heaven and that God's perfect timing. You know, we talked about all of that. So part of the things, like, I want to talk about, like, for healing for me. So I think we're all very different. So for me, the way that I healed was I just wanted to be alone. I just wanted to just be in a quiet room and just be alone, you know. Like, that would have been ideal. And obviously I'm a mom of 4 at the time, so that wasn't, you know, how it happened, but it obviously was amazing. I got to hug my little babies so much tighter and just like be thankful that I had them. But for me, I really didn't want to see like my family or friends like that. And that's just how I naturally am. Like, I just kind of heal that way in the quiet. You know, I process things. I need to process them alone, and, you know, type of thing. So I say that because some people might want the opposite. They might want to be with their friends and like cry on their shoulder. And so we're all very different, and it's okay. We all grieve in very different ways, and that's okay. And some of us grieve for longer, and some of us grieve for shorter. You know, it's all very different. God created us all very different, and that's okay. However you grieve, it's okay. So part of the healing process for me was we named our babies, and that was really sweet, I think, too, for my kids. So we have a little Faith. Actually, my father named the baby. He's the one who kind of told me about it. He's like, have you named the baby yet? And we're like, no. And he's asked us several times, and I was like, no, what do you think we should name our baby? And he said Faith. And I was like, instantly, I was like, yes, it is a little Faith. And so so our first one is Faith. The second one, before I even knew I miscarried, I had a dream, and in my dream Jesus put James on my body. Like, I was laying down and put James on my body, and I got to hold him, And so Jesus actually was the one who said, "This is James, I'm gonna let you hold him before I take him." And so I held him, and then I woke up in the middle of the night and I was bleeding. So that is like a whole nother crazy thing, but it was the most like realistic dream. And so we have a little James, and then the other one was after Maria, and so we decided on Nicholas. So that way, if it was a little girl, it would be Nicole. So we named our little babies in heaven, and I think that was actually very healing too, like to have that. And that's what I would recommend. Just take your time, be patient with yourself with healing, and it's okay. Like if you, whatever you need to heal, but I really truly encourage you to lean on God during this time, and just to trust that God's perfect timing, perfect plan, that he, you know, is in charge of everything, and that he wanted your baby. And it's such a beautiful blessing to know that we have babies in heaven. Okay, so the next thing I want to share with you are some ideas on how you can help people who are kind of going through a miscarriage, or even if it's a long time ago and you didn't quite know what to do. I'm going to give some ideas that might help them. Like I said, everybody grieves very differently, so you can kind of feel out, like, does this person need a hug, or do they just need alone time? You can offer, maybe if they have other children, to have a play date with the other kids so that they can just like grieve in silence. So that's one thing. Ultimately, pray for that person, just that there is healing within them, and that, you know, that they can just fully give their little baby to Jesus. And then also something that was super helpful for me was just when people made meals for me. Like, that's kind of the last thing I want to do when I'm grieving, is make meals. So families bringing me meals was so helpful. And, you know, if you have a new baby, stuff like that, like, it's so helpful just bringing them a meal. And I would say don't even ask them, because they'll probably say no if they're like me. But if you just say, "Hey, I'm gonna make you a meal tonight, like, what is, you know, is anybody allergic to anything, and what would be a good time to drop it off?" Or like give them a gift card for a restaurant that they could pick things up, or, you know, that type of thing. The other thing is just flowers. Like, very simply, I feel like flowers are so beautiful, or a little statue that you could maybe put outside in memory of that child is an idea too. Also, there's a statue of Mary that I'll put right here that I love, and it's Mother Mary, and she's holding a little baby. And so obviously that baby is Jesus, but it could be your baby that she's holding in heaven, which gives me so much comfort. I will say, what made me even think to do this video was this book. This is a book from Holy Heroes, and I get asked to do a lot of book reviews, and like for little kids, and I love it. So I'll like sit Maria down and we'll read the books. And so I read this book, and tears. I could not stop crying. It was so beautiful. I was not expecting how beautiful it was, but pretty much it's like the story of a little family, and they have a little, the mom's pregnant, and I think they have a brother and a sister. And so they're really excited for the baby, and then they don't hear a heartbeat, and so then they talk about like how, you know, it was really sad for the family, but how this little baby is now with Jesus, and, you know, in like the safest place possible, and talks about how like Mother Mary is holding their baby and is so excited to be with that baby. And it just like, it gives me goosebumps. But reading this book, it was so healing. And then the ultimate one is where she is with Jesus, and I just thought that was like so beautiful, and such a great reminder of like God, it's all God's timing, and like our babies are God's, you know, and stuff. So anyway, if you're looking for, I'm gonna buy probably like 5 of these and keep them on hand for if I have friends who have a miscarriage, and like probably give them these and like a meal and maybe flowers or something. But this book was very healing for me, and this was like 2 years later that I read this book, and it was just a great reminder of like our children are souls that live forever, and they're with Jesus now. It's so good. Anyway, I'll put that link down below, and also the statue. So something else I want to talk about, if you are having multiple miscarriages, it could be that your levels are off. So your estrogen is high and your progesterone is low, or vice versa, high progesterone and low estrogen. And so it's called NAPRO technology, and they will help you, and they're within the Catholic Church. They really help you to figure out your body and what your body needs, so that maybe your body can hold on to the baby longer. So as soon as you find out you're pregnant, you'll want to contact them. I have a whole video all about them, and so I'll link that down below, because that gives so much information on, you know, maybe you're even struggling with getting pregnant. It's not even miscarriages, but you and your husband cannot get pregnant. So this is amazing, because they really take a really good look at, you know, all the different things in your body, and it's called NAPRO technology. So that you might want to look into. I did a video a while ago, and people on there said thank you, like, I did this, I looked it up, and now I'm pregnant, and they have babies now. So like, such an amazing miracle that they have these different places now that can help. So anyway, I will put that information down below. I'll put all the links from this video down below. But if you have had a miscarriage, I'm so sorry, and I wish I could give you a hug, and know that it just takes time. Like, healing takes time, and just be gentle with yourself and your family, and know that your baby is in a better place now. Like, as crazy as that sounds, take comfort in that, because there's nowhere else we want our babies than to be with God in heaven. I mean, ultimately, that's where all of our babies should go. And I know that it's hard, because we do want to hold our babies and be with them, but to just trust that, you know, that God will take care of your little baby now, and now you have somebody in heaven praying for you, and in such a beautiful, intimate way. So anyway, I hope this video helped you, and until next time, I will see you all later. God bless. Bye.